So today here, I am with Craig Studnicky. He is the master of the statistics in the Miami market. He is the person that does the very famously well-known Miami Quarter Report here in Miami. Craig, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate your time.
My pleasure, Felipe.
And
my pleasure.
Honestly, it's an honor to be able to do this interview with you. It's a person that is really just super prestigious here in the Miami market.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that as well. I've been here for over 30 years, and I've been publishing the Miami Report for 15. So one of the things I appreciate you saying is the data, we work very hard in first analyzing and then summarizing. And it is my hope that you, and I know you already are already there, it's my hope that everybody reads the data and understands it, because it'll lead you to where the buyers are taking us here in Miami.
Yes, I mean, the numbers don't lie.
No, they don't.
We have to take that.
And the Miami Report is a giant trend study. And so if you follow the line, we're following where buyers are taking us. A lot of realtors think it's the other way around. I'm in my 60s. I can tell you, it doesn't work like that. The buyers take us. And the Miami Report shows you where they're going.
Exactly. So, Craig, I have a very important question for you.
Sure.
And it is for a foreseeable, very close future for the next 2 to 4 years.
Okay.
Where do you see the Miami market going towards, or what are the tendencies going? I know it's a little bit far out, but in your opinion, looking at the statistics that are available right now, what do you think?
It's not that far out. First of all, we have a mayor, Mayor Francis Suarez, who I'm a big fan of. Maybe you've heard me say this, Felipe, but we've never had a mayor who's a salesman and a mayor and a mayor and a salesman in one individual like Mayor Francis Suarez. During 2020, he was on airplanes flying all over the United States. California, he'd stop in Chicago and hang out with a guy named Ken Griffin of Citadel, and then he would go to New York, and they would crisscross the country back and forth. And he recruited so far 204 Fortune 400 and Fortune 500 companies in the last 3 years to relocate to South Florida. Felipe, we've never, I don't think there's a city in the United States that ever had this kind of corporate growth coming to an area, but for sure South Florida hasn't.
Oh yeah.
Now about 80 of those companies are here. The rest are planning on moving. So where do I see South Florida real estate? Now these are families that are moving here and they're buying condos and houses, or houses and condos that you can raise a family in. More traditional real estate. Mm-hmm. You have all of that adds to it. We've always been the gateway of Latin America.
That is
always. I've been here for 30 years, and for 30 years we've been the gateway of Latin America. Miami is.
Yeah.
We've always been the most popular second home market for the Northeast US, particularly New York. Mm-hmm. Those markets are still here, Felipe. Now add the corporate world that's coming here. You've never had a demand curve. I've been in real estate for 45 years.
Wow.
I've been in New York, I've been in Washington, DC. I've been in Miami for 30 years. I've never seen a demand curve like we have right now in South Florida. Add to that mortgage rates. People are getting right now mortgage rates for a 30-year fixed rate loan is around 6.5%. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people lost perspective of 1 year ago, that same mortgage was 7.5. Now it's 6.5. And Jerome Powell, the chairman of the US Fed, has announced come September, we're lowering rates. So in advance of the official rate cut, you've already seen a 100 basis point drop in mortgage rates. That means more buyers are out there already fishing for real estate.
Yeah.
Lower rates more, you'll have even more. Add that to the demand curve that we have.
Oh.
Mayor Francis Suarez has said to me many times, Felipe, his big concern for the next 2 to 4 years for Miami is that we may become a victim of our own success. Mayor Suarez, what do you mean by that? We don't have enough housing to accommodate the population growth in South Florida. We're not talking about short-term rentals. We're talking about traditional real estate, like something like Shoma Bay or single-family homes in Miami, in Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach. He's not wrong. We've got to start building again. We've got to start building
that is very true.
The kind of housing that most people that are moving to South Florida want to live in and raise their families in.
Yes, that is very true. And I mean, just to kind of compliment a little bit more about what you said, Miami is the gateway to Latin America. I'm Latin American, I'm from Colombia. We've been living here for the past 25 years, and a lot of people like me have been doing so, and a lot of people will continue to do so because Miami is just so attracted to Latin American buyers and people in general.
You got here when Latin America was just starting to get busy in South Florida. You timed it perfectly.
Yes. And
probably by accident, but nevertheless, you timed it perfectly.
And just kind of also compliment a little bit about what you said about the companies moving here. We have to understand 6 commercial Class A commercial buildings are being built in Brickell only.
Yeah, well, we need them. Do you know the city of Chicago has 34 office towers with 1 million square feet and more? Miami has 1. And we need to start building.
Yes.
Because these companies are coming here. We need the commercial space. We need everything in South Florida. It really is an amazing time for real estate people, whether you're an investor, a real estate broker, a developer, the banks that are financing this stuff. What a time to be in South Florida.
Yes.
Because this is not 2 or 4 years.
No.
This is 10 to 20 years. Because also Brickell Avenue, there are more commercial banks on Brickell Avenue now than there are in Wall Street. So they call this the Wall Street of the South, and that's factually, that's why. A lot of, there's like $2.3 trillion in asset transfer from various cities around the US to Miami in the last 4 years. Well, who's managing all this money? The banks on Brickell. Who are they managing it for? The people who are moving to South Florida. The companies that are moving to South Florida. Now, we're in such huge momentum. I think I sometimes get excited about the Miami report because the more data I read, the more I think, oh my God, I found myself in the right place at the right time. And so have all of you.
Yeah, I mean, really, right now is the greatest moment to take advantage, and just kind of compliment one more thing about the interest rates that you said before.
Sure.
I understand a lot of people are waiting to see what happens with interest rates. And honestly, I think that interest rates shouldn't be a deciding factor in purchasing a home, because we have the simple fact that the American system allows people to refinance their homes.
That's right.
So if they buy a property now, they're not dealing with a higher demand that the lower rates usually brings and the higher competition to buy a home. So a lot of times people are going to be offering, with the lower rates, way over listing price to be able to purchase a home with many other competitors for the same home.
Right, that's right.
And so
you nailed it.
This is something to really take into it.
Americans get locked into interest rates, Felipe. Yeah. We just do, because when interest rates are high, and Jerome Powell, chairman of the Fed, is saying, I'm going to fight inflation, it causes most Americans, including me to some extent, to stop, to pause. Yeah. Because clearly there's something wrong with our economy that the Fed chairman is trying to fix. In the last 2 or 3 years, it's been inflation. So it's not so much the rates high, we're just a little afraid, because there's something wrong with the US economy. So Americans tend to get like a turtle, we go in our shell. Now he's announced he's lowering rates, watch the party start. Yeah. Americans are quite different. We will change like that, and they'll get out there and start buying. And you're 100% right. Buy the house, marry the house, date the rate. You can always refinance the rate down. And banks don't want to lose your business. They're happy to refinance it even over the phone once rates start going down. But don't kick over that house you want or that condo you want with that beautiful view because of mortgage rates, especially now that we all know they're going south. Yes. And Felipe, they're going to go south for 18 months. Yeah. So what starts in September, expect that to continue to drop and drop and drop through 2025.
Yeah, I mean, historically, we've been at a 4 to 5% interest rate. So, from what I've been speaking with mortgage lenders and what they've been saying is we're heading towards that trend.
You are. I don't know if you get to 4, but if you fall below 5, that's as good as it's ever going to get. Yeah. And I don't really think you need any more than that.
No.
At 7.5, I can understand why things slow down. At 6.5, I'm already seeing in my general real estate business that related ISG an uptick in transactions. Wait till it gets to 5.5.
Oh,
this is over.
Yeah.
And standing inventory, any condo that's less than 10 years old will be gone.
Now, talking about condos, because this is a huge thing in the news right now, and it's everyone's saying, oh, the Miami market is supposedly right now dropping, it's falling, right now it's at a downfall. And a lot of media outlets and news outlets, they don't really paint the full story.
No, they never do.
And obviously, we have to understand that right now, the only thing being affected are the older condominiums because of what's going into effect January 1st, 2025. Right.
Well done.
Is there any way you can give us a little more insight as to exactly what specific range of properties are the ones mainly being affected?
Sure.
And how much they're being affected?
Right now I'm in the middle of writing the Q3 report because we're 1 month away from the end of Q3. So I just updated these numbers. Yeah. So literally last night.
Oh, that's great.
So the media, like many real estate brokers, they just get it wrong for one simple reason: they don't age the inventory. So I age it in 3 categories: less than 10 years old. So that means it's all the stuff that was built in the last cycle from 2012 till like 2020. Then 10 to 30 years old, and then 30 years plus. Why 30? Because the state of Florida drew that line in the sand on this new law that you just made reference to, Felipe. And as of January, all condominiums in the state of Florida, whether it's Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Palm Beach, doesn't matter, all condos must hire structural engineers for condos that are 30 years and older to examine the structural components of a building. The result of that is a little fear, and warranted, because those buildings for sure are going to get special assessments.
Oh yeah.
Mortgage lenders don't want to touch those buildings right now because they don't know how deep the special assessments go. Buyers don't want to touch that stuff for the same reason. The owners of those condos want to sell it yesterday, 5 minutes ago, but there's no buyers for that. So what we're seeing is the buyers, whether they're coming from Boston or Buenos Aires or Bogota, they're reading about these older condos. They're reading about those two ugly words, special assessments. They tell the realtors, you can tell by the numbers, don't show me any of those buildings. Right now, in the Tri-County area, Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County, I told you I got this information last night, there's 600 condos for sale that are less than 10 years old. That's 200 condos per county. It might as well be zero. The price from January to the end of July is up 9%.
Wow.
The Americans are coming, most of those buyers are Americans, they're coming down. They're not negotiating because they can't. This is the only condo in that building. I love the building, I'm buying it. You're not gonna negotiate, you're just gonna sign the contract. And what's happening is those prices are soaring. The stuff that's over 30 years old is down 20%. It's actually down factually 21%.
Wow.
So if you age the inventory and you study this for, I don't know, 2 minutes, you understand the difference. But the media doesn't do that. And honestly, Felipe, you're ahead of 90% of the brokers out there. Brokers don't do this either.
No.
They just read the headlines and go, oh my God. Slow down. If you age the inventory, you'll see the opportunities. And you might as well, because your buyers are reading this stuff and they want the new stuff. So get ahead of the buyers.
Yes. I mean, honestly, the new stuff is right now the best option that they have. It's pretty much not only, the buildings that are 10 years and younger, but the actual pre-construction buildings, what I consider future-proof. Because
they pretty much are.
They'll be done with the latest technology, the latest HOA fees and everything. So everything is pretty much going to be perfect for them to be able to live in it for the next couple of years.
Anything that's under construction or about to start construction, they're going to be fine for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
For at least 30 years, maybe longer. The issue we have with pre-construction is we need like 20,000 condos every 10 years to be built in South Florida.
Yeah.
We're only building 4,000 right now. Where there's more that have been pre-sold, but there's no construction loans yet. Why? Like buyers, they're waiting for interest rates. The developers are waiting for interest rates to go down. But now it's about to happen. You're going to see a lot of real groundbreakings next year.
Yeah.
But that means most of that inventory won't be finished until 2030, 2031. So my simple forecast is anything that's less than 10 years old is going to fly. But not just in terms of sales, but in terms of appreciation.
Of course.
10 to 30 years old, pretty much the same. 30 years and older, nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's just based on the tea leaves that are on the ground now.
Yeah, I mean, right now, those 30-year-old condos or older, more than likely what's going to happen is either they're not going to sell, they're either going to get closed on, or more than likely a developer's going to buy out the building.
Eventually, that's exactly what will happen. Developers will come in and buy those old buildings out, tear them down, and build beautiful brand new condos.
Yeah, and honestly, that's probably going to be the best thing.
Yeah, that's a couple years out.
Yeah,
because right now developers it's a long story why they're not approaching those right now. It's kind of a legal issue, but that will ultimately, your prescription for that is exactly what's going to happen.
Now, I want to touch upon something that you sort of mentioned a little earlier today, and are the transient units and then transient properties here in Miami. We have to understand that here in the city of Miami, there's a lot of transient units being, let's just say, brought up for pre-construction properties or being built.
There's 12,000 of them since COVID.
But I mean, right now, what's your forecast on those transient properties?
So you're familiar with Lionel Messi. You don't like him because he beat you in the Copa just a short while ago. I know you're Colombian, I appreciate that. But Lionel Messi has a track record. He's the best soccer player, we call him soccer, best football player in the world. His track record has caused him to have this multi-gazillion contract to kick that little white ball around the grass. Everything in life boils down to a track record. A track record for a condo like Shoma, the last 30 years, it's appreciated by 10% per year. No matter where you are, Palm Beach, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Houses have been the gold standard. They've appreciated by closer to 20%.
Yeah.
Short-term rentals, transient, condo hotels, it all falls under basically the same umbrella.
Yeah.
Track record's not so impressive. They've appreciated by just under 1% per year for 30 years. So the whole idea of investing in real estate is to experience the capital gain. Felipe, I promise you, when people brag about their real estate investments, they brag about the capital gain.
Of course.
I bought the property for $500,000, I sold it for 1.2. I bought the property for 1.2, I sold it for 2.5. That's what they talk about. They don't talk about monthly ROIs. They talk about the capital gain. The capital gain on short-term rentals transient is not impressive. And that's historical track record. I did the math. That's why I don't sell that stuff. I'd rather sell Shoma Bay.
Yeah, traditional.
Exactly. That's what's flying. And the people that are moving here, they're not living in a hotel. They're living in normal condos where they have privacy, where they have security, where they have beautifully maintained amenities.
Where they have the luxury as well.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely. And and these new condominiums in Miami. I love it when people compare Miami to Dubai. Yeah. I've been to Dubai.
I have to.
Dubai, it's extraordinary.
Yes, it is.
But it's not Miami. Miami's got an energy,
the
a
culture,
vibe about it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like what you said.
But do we have the same quality of Dubai? Yeah. Absolutely. But we also are in Miami.
Yeah.
Woo!
I mean, we're in the best country in the whole world, the United States.
When I grew up here, I happen to agree with you. No, I've traveled the world because of real estate. And I actually think it's made me more grateful that I was born in this country because I do understand the opportunities the United States offers. I get it. Compared to limitations in other countries, it's one of those. I mean, I thank my lucky stars that my great-grandparents caught the boat and left Ireland a long, long time ago and landed in New Jersey because it made me a second-generation American.
Yeah, well, I mean.
But I get it. No, this is... We are living in the most popular, right now, you and I are selling real estate in the most popular real estate market in the entire US. And I see this maintaining itself for another 10 to 20 years.
Yes.
If there's any jealousy in me, it's that I'm not your age. Because I'm in my 60s now. I'll be doing this for another 5 or 10 years. You'll be doing this for another 30 years.
Yeah.
And Felipe, just stay in the game because the contacts you make, the relationships you make will supersede real estate. It'll transcend into lots of different areas of your life because people are coming here. So many people from around the world are coming here for the same reason you did 25 years ago, for the same reason I did 32 years ago.
And it's honestly, right now, a big opportunity here in Miami to be able to just live here and have real estate. Now, we're here standing right next to Shoma Bay.
Shoma Bay, yep.
And just kind of appreciate a little bit of the time that we have here right next to the building and take advantage. Shoma Bay is located in North Bay Village. Is there anything you could tell us about North Bay Village that should be super important right now that really characterizes itself as an option that people don't really know about but should be keeping their eyes on? Yeah,
very simple. I've been here for 32 years and I love how people, whenever I travel around the world, you do too. Yeah. When you tell people, so let's assume I'm in Bogota and I meet somebody for the first time. So Craig, where do you live? I live in Miami. You've had that same experience. You see the look on their faces when you tell them you live in Miami?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in the world that likes to talk about Miami real estate, and there's a lot of those people, in 3 years we'll all be talking about North Bay Village.
I agree.
It is a neighborhood in transition, but unlike anything we've ever seen perhaps since Brickell Avenue 20 years ago.
I agree.
There's so much going on here now. The biggest names in real estate, starting with George Perez from Related, Masood Sojai from Shoma Group, they're all here, and they're here for a reason. First of all, it's an island. We're on an island in Miami. I mean, that by itself sounds romantic, but you're between the beach and the city. You're on an island with ridiculous water views. And the Americans that are coming here, which is the meat of the market right now, I are one. I will tell you, their vision of Miami are these blue turquoise waters.
Yeah.
Water is everything. When you show an American a water view, they'll pay a lot of money for it. Right. They don't want necessarily be in an urban environment to look at another building, particularly somebody from New York. They've already got that. Yeah. And that's not their mental picture of Miami. It's palm trees, it's attractive people, it's people going to play golf, people going to go on a boat, people going to go play tennis. Miami is a fun place to live because there's always so much to do. And so much of it involves water, water, water. Shoma Bay was the first luxury condominium to come to North Bay Village perhaps in the last 15 years. There's 3 or 4 others behind us now. Yeah. And we were fortunate we were the first. Masood Sojai bought this land when he heard that there could be a zoning change, a significant zoning change coming to North Bay Village. So he took a gamble. And he bought this land before it was done. The gamble worked. So we're the first. We have the best lot because of the views. Yeah. Oh, look at these views. There's water, water all over. And so we're able to take it, we're able to offer people an all-inclusive lifestyle. All-inclusive kind of matters post-COVID. What does that mean? It means when you buy into a condominium property, you can park your car on a Friday and not need it until Monday. because everything that you could possibly need to enjoy a wonderful weekend is in or around your condominium development. That's called all-inclusive. How much does that matter? Well, you've been here for 25 years. Miami's a little more crowded now, post-COVID, than it was pre-COVID. It's a little crowded here because we're kind of popular. So to have your own condominium home that you don't have to leave, you don't really, if you want to, sure, go, but you don't have to. That's what the Shoma Group is creating here at Shoma Bay, while North Bay Village is transforming.
Yes, I mean,
so there's the opportunity. I'm telling you, 3 years, people are going to be talking about North Bay Village. Right now, you and I are the early ones. Felipe, I promise you, give it 3 at the max, maybe 2. Everybody's going to be talking about North Bay Village.
I know that it might be a little sooner, just because the names that are popping up here in North Bay Village really have a huge influence. I mean, other than Shoma Bay, you know, we have right next door what is the Grove, the Party Grove, I think is what's the name called.
Next to Continuum.
Exactly.
Right.
And we have a bunch of other.
And then next to that is what we're calling Channel 7 is going to recreate what we're calling Brickell City Center 2.0 because they haven't named it yet.
Yeah.
Brickell City Center is 5.5 million square feet. You've been there, it's magnificent.
Yeah.
This is 7.3 million square feet. This is 25% larger than Brickell City Center. Same concept, except more modern architecturally.
In an island.
On the water.
Yeah.
On the water. The walk isn't going to be inside under the climate ribbon that they have at Brickell City Center, which is a really cool architectural feature. No, it's going to be right on Biscayne Bay. I mean, come on.
That's part of the investment that there is in
That's it.
$7 billion being invested into North Bay Village. It's a great opportunity right now to be able to buy a unit here. What prices does Shoma Bay start?
Oh, we're at $1,000 a foot. Give it 3 years.
Oh,
if you tell me it's $2,000 a foot, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, with the amount of really just investment that's coming in and the amount of developments that will be here, and not only that, the neighbors as well is going to bring the value of this building up super high.
The single-family homes on the south side of this island, $20 million houses. Before COVID, that house sold for maybe $5 or $6 million. North Bay Village is becoming very, very popular, and you've been here now. When you get to the island, you automatically exhale.
Yeah, I mean,
because you're on the island now, and you feel all of a sudden all that traffic that you were screaming at is gone. It's gone. That's North Bay Village, and the developers are bringing incredibly modern, I'll call it Dubai-like architecture to North Bay Village. So this island, this North Bay Village island that was kind of forgotten for years, is going to prove itself out very soon to be a hidden gem. Yeah, I mean, with that, Craig, I think we should close this up because it's a lot of information. No, it's a lot of information, but I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you.
No, I really appreciate you having some time to speak with us, to be able to present this information to potential buyers and people that will be interested in potentially buying not only here, but here in Miami. And if you want some more information, please feel free to get in touch with me. All of my information is going to be down in the description below. That way you can get in touch, call me. If you want to set up a Zoom call to be able to see what are the best options and get a presentation, a private presentation of Shoma Bay exclusively, get in touch with me. We'll be able to help you out. So with that, Craig.
Listen, this young man's a professional. So you can trust that he will take care of you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.